Abraham Lincoln was an American statesman and lawyer who served as the 16th President of the United States. Born February 14, 1809, in a small cabin located in Hardin County, Kentucky, Abraham Lincoln came into this world knowing about poverty. With remote parents from Virginia, mother Nancy Hank Lincoln and Thomas Lincoln, Lincoln learned the way of farm life. After the death of his mother in 1818, 9-year-old Lincoln and his family moved to Perry County, Indiana, due to land disputes. A year after his mother's death, Lincoln's father, Thomas, remarried to Sarah, now Lincoln. Despite being uneducated, both his father and now mother encouraged Lincoln to read. After a total of 18 months, Lincoln finally received a formal education. In 1834, Lincoln began his political career and was elected Illinois state legislator. It was around this time he decided to become a lawyer, teaching himself with William Blackstone's commentaries on the laws of England. In 1837, he moved to Springfield and began his practice in the John T. Stewart law firm. By the 1850s, the railroad industry rose in Illinois. Lincoln served as a lobbyist for the Illinois Central Railroad as its company attorney. Success in several court cases brought Lincoln's customers. As a member of the Illinois state legislature in 1834, Lincoln supported the Whig politics of government-sponsored infrastructure and protective tariffs. This sparked his view on slavery, not as a moral wrong but impediment to economic development. In 1857, the Supreme Court issued its controversial Dred Scott decision declaring that African Americans were not citizens and had no inherent rights. Though Lincoln felt that African Americans were not equal to whites, he wanted to continue the intent of America's founders, which was that all men were created with certain inalienable rights. He criticized Senator Stephen Douglas, the Supreme Court, and President Thomas Buchanan for promoting slavery. He soon went into campaign against Douglas in 1858 for U.S. Senator. With his newly enhanced political profile, in 1860 he was organized a campaign for presidency. He won not even 40% of popular vote, but won instead by 180 of 303 electoral votes. Soon more debates about slavery arose, causing segregation amongst the South and the North. This caused one of the most known battles called the Civil War. On January 1, 1863, Lincoln delivered the Emancipation Proclamation, reshaping the cause of the Civil War from saving the Union to abolishing slavery. In this document, slaves were freed and armed forces will maintain that. Later in the year, on November 19, 1863, Lincoln delivered what would become his most famous speech and one of the most important speeches in American history, the Gettysburg Address. Lincoln was trying to state how the lands that were fought on cannot be holy for the people. This moment is unforgettable. It is our responsibility to keep our legacy. Only move forward, only grow from the past. Don't let the fight be for vain. By 1864, the Civil War ended, causing controversy with Republicans in the Senate and the House. On April 14, 1865, well-known actor and Confederate sympathizer John Wilkes Booth assassinated Abraham Lincoln in Ford's Theater in Washington, D.C. Lincoln became one of the greatest activists and presidents of our nation. His legacy still stands, and Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C. is there to show you that.